Hey, what's up everyone? Danny Lightning back with another CSR2 video. So the new race pass is up. I think this is race pass number 29. So we got 3 paid cars and we got 3 free cars. So we're going to go over those, let you know if they're any good, look at the stats and all kinds of good stuff like that. In the free section, we have the LB Huracan Coupe, we've got the Akula, and we got the 911 GT3 RS 992. If we move over to the paid section, we got the Liberty Walk 650S, the Evo 37, and the 935 Salzburg Steak. I know that's not how you say it. Alright, so we're going to start off with the free tier of cars, so let's pull up this Lamborghini and talk all about it. Let's go do it to it. So first up, we have the Lamborghini LB Huracan Coupe, and the half-mile time on the world record is 8.225. That's the fastest time I found recorded for it. It does 267 miles per hour, and none of that's even close to being good, but it does have really good acceleration. 0 to 60 in 0.575 and 0 to 100 in 0.930, so those are really good acceleration times. But besides that, this car really has nothing going for it. Can you live race with this car? Well, I would not suggest it. I do not give this a good live racing score. I give this like a minus 2,597 on the live racing score. I mean, you might be able to win a live race with it here and there, but not really going to be a car that's good for much of anything. So, yeah. Personally, I don't like it. Don't like it at all. It's just kind of a... It's like a turd taco that we should probably throw in the trash compactor. So it's just not a good car in the game, guys and girls, unfortunately. All right, let's move on to the next car. Next, we have the Akula. Now, this is a really nice looking car, but number one, it's from a brand that's really hard to get fusion parts for. So good luck getting fusion parts for this. Number two, it's a 7.3 car, which isn't bad. I mean, 7.3 is a pretty decent time. There was a time where 7.3 was crazy fast. Now it's just kind of so-so. It's going to do 427 miles per hour, so this car does have really nice top speed. It'll do 0 to 60 in 0.927 and 0 to 100 in about 1.449. And does this car have a good live racing setup? Not that I was able to find, so it does not seem like a promising live racer. If you max it out, take it into live racing, you might win one here, you might win one there, but I expect it to be a big old crab sandwich for live racing. So this car is really nothing special. It doesn't interest me at all other than the looks. It looks beautiful, but in the game, the car is pretty bad. Or just kind of so-so. You know, it's a so-so car. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the 911 GT3 RS 992. This one's going to do a 7.1 in the half mile, which is not too terribly bad. It's going to do 434 miles per hour, which is not too terribly bad. 0 to 60 in 0.893, 0 to 100 in 1.2. And there's really nothing on there about a live racing setup that's going to knock my socks off. So none of these cars really do it to it when it comes to live racing setups, at least in the free tier. So yeah, I mean, there's some okay cars in here this time, but between the 3 paid or the 3 free cars, that's a little bit of a tongue twister. We've got nothing but mediocre here today. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. There's nothing here that floats my boat or strikes my interest whatsoever, but let's move on to the paid tier. All right, so first up on the paid tier, we're pulling up the Liberty Walk 650S. This will do a half mile in 8.220, which is absolutely terrible. It's going to do 304 miles per hour, which is not really that great. I mean, in real life it would be, but in the game, 304 miles per hour is not that interesting. I mean, it's not horrible, but yeah. 0 to 60 in 0.7, 0 to 100 in about 1.050, so, well, no live racing setup on this thing at all. I would not take this into live racing. I mean, I couldn't find anything that makes me think this would be a good live racer. In my opinion, this is just a really old, outdated car that's not even close to being good anymore. So this one may look amazing. This one does look awesome, but that's the only thing this car has going for it is the good looks. Next, we have the Evo 37. Now, this is a pretty cool little car. It's going to do a 7.255, which is, just decent, 360 miles per hour, nothing crazy. It's got really good acceleration, 0 to 60 in 0.644, 0 to 100 in 0.981. And does this have a live racing setup? You can set this up to live race, right? This does have a low performance point high Evo setup that will do decent, right? It's probably not going to be like the world's greatest live racing car, but this one is capable of winning a few live races here and there. If you set it up on the low performance point high Evo, it'll do halfway decent. It's not a bad little live racing car. And it actually looks pretty cool too, in my opinion. So this one is not a bad choice. The Evo 37, I do like this little car. I don't love this little car, but I do like this little car. I actually love the way it looks, but it's a cool little car. I think you can get around 1,900, maybe even 2,000 Evo with like 630, 640 performance points on this car. So this one will be a nice little live racer. All right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, so now we're moving over to the 935 Salzburg. This has a half mile time of a 6.985, so that's actually pretty decent. That does have a really good time on it. I mean, it's not as good as some of the cars, but 7 zeros or faster are what I would consider to be decent times these days. That's just my opinion because we have cars running 6.5s now, maybe even down in the 6.4, 6.4, 6.5, something like that. Crazy fast. This car does have a top speed of 494 miles per hour, which is crazy good. I mean, that's really good top speed. 0 to 60 in 0.8 and 0 to 100 in about 1.3 something. So those are good acceleration times, good top speed. Crosses the finish line at a pretty decent time. So now the question is, does this thing here have a live racing setup? Well, let's find out. So this car does have a low performance point high Evo setup where you can get about 1,400 Evo and 649 performance points, and that runs a dyno of like 11.7. It's probably going to be an okay live racer, but I wouldn't expect it to do great, honestly. So it might win a few live races if you know how to set this up on low performance point high Evo. That's without stage 6 parts. Now, if you throw on a stage 6 transmission and a stage 6 body, this car will get close to 2,000 Evo with about 650 performance points. So this car should do pretty decent at live racing. So this car and the Evo both have little live racing setups that will do pretty decent. So yeah. All right, cool. All right, so there we go. Those are the paid cars and the free cars. And none of the free cars really look that good, but which one would I pick if I had to? If I had to pick one of the free cars, my choice would be, let me think a minute on this. All right, so I think I would grab the Porsche out of the 3 cars. The Porsche would be my first choice because it's a lot easier to get parts for. It seems to have the best stats and times and everything else out of all the cars in the free pass. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. But it's got all those, it's got the things. I don't know what I'm saying here. Hold on, let me pause this and get my bearings back together. I'm still not feeling well today, so it is what it is. But anyways, out of the 3 cars, I would say the Lamborghini and the Akula are pretty lousy. And the Porsche is probably a somewhat kind of okay, halfway decent car. Except for none of these things are really going to be the world's greatest live racers. So that's something you have to keep in mind. I wouldn't get any of them for a live racing setup. Honestly, I would just grab the Porsche and I would let it sit in your garage and do nothing until it's used for an event or something. At some point, you may need that car for an event, but up until then, there's really nothing good about it. I don't know. Not my thing. Not my thing. All right, so let's find out which cars are going to be your best bet in the paid tier. So the McLaren 650S is an old school, outdated car. I do not suggest picking that one. Now there's the Evo. I really like the Evo. I love the way it looks. It's a cool car. It's got some good stuff going for it in a lot of ways. But that car is going to be very hard to get parts for, so that's a little bit of an issue. Getting fusion parts for that brand is almost impossible. And it is a Purple Star car, meaning those have paid crates. Now, if you have the Golden Star version of that, you could always open the bronze key crates to get parts for that car. But if you don't have the Golden Star version as well, and you grab that, they will be paid crates. So it is not easy to get parts for however you pronounce that manufacturer's name. I'm not sure. It's got a crazy name. But the Evo 37, I really like it. It's a really cool car, but I don't think it would be my first choice. I think I would grab the Porsche because the Porsche, unfortunately, you do need a couple of Stage 6 to really make it a good live racing car, but it runs the best times out of all of it. Porsche Fusion parts are really easy to get. Of course, the Stage 6 parts will not be easy to get, but anyways, yeah, I would go with the Porsche. I think the Porsche is the best out of the three. It's really, you know, the Porsche and the Evo are the only two cars in the entire race pass that are actually decent or good in my opinion. So, I don't know. If you've already got the Porsche, definitely grab the Evo. Not Evo. I'm telling you, I can't talk today. I cannot pronounce any thingy-dingies correct. I think I pronounced thingy-dingies correct. But, yeah. Anyways, the Liberty Walk is a terrible car. Looks amazing. Performs terribly. Don't get the Liberty Walk. So one of those two is going to be your top choice right there. It's a little bit of a disappointing race pass in a lot of ways, but at least there's two somewhat decent cars in the paid tier. So, I mean, the race pass is totally worth buying just for the universal parts that you get, right? Universal parts are great. I mean, $10, you get a bunch of universal parts, you put them on your cars. It saves you a bunch of game cash when you upgrade stuff. So if you can get the universal parts, it's totally worth the $10. $10 for the race pass. My God, it's one of them mornings. So there we go, guys. I hope you have found this very, very helpful. It's not really the world's greatest race pass. At this point in the video, I just want to say a huge shout out to my channel members. Thank you for the extra support. If you would like to become one, just hit the little join button right below the video. And if you drop down the video's description or the pinned comment, you'll see my affiliate links and a bunch of ways to help support the channel, plus some news and information and all kinds of good stuff. In the affiliate links, you'll find microphones, cameras, lighting, air fryers, coffee pots, stuff to make your room look cool, and all kinds of amazing stuff, so you might want to check that out. Lightning out, have a great day, and thanks for watching my video.
Thanks for watching my video. I hate to say, but it's time to go. Maybe you could watch another one. That might be really fun. Thanks for watching my video.